Well, hello. My name is Daddy-O. I do some Ubering and a little bit of YouTube from time to time. Ha 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 ha. Hey, listen. Today. I'm gonna do some. There are several things I'm gonna go over today in this video. If you have never seen me before, do me a favor. Stay to the end of the video, if you would. A lot of the questions and comments that I get, I can definitely tell people are not watching till the end. Now, I'm going to go over my strategy today. This is my strategy on how there are so many different ways to do Uber. And I'm going to go over my strategy, okay? I'm going to tell you about some others along the way that you may want to, that might be the way you want to do your Ubering. But I'm getting comments on how I do it, because I think I do it. I'm finding out I do Ubering maybe, or my approach, my strategy is a little different than other Uber drivers. Okay. First of all, I do a rental. I rent through Avis to do my Ubering in. And I'll get into that in a minute, okay? But I'm just laying that out front. I do a rental. I don't use my personal car. Here's the reason why. I don't use what is known as a beater car. And I've expressed this in videos before, so hang with me, okay? We're going to go through this thing. A beater car is more or less a car that's 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, and that might be the car that you're doing your Ubering in. I've ragged out so many vehicles, or a couple vehicles, doing when I first started Ubering with that approach of just driving my car, wearing it out, tearing it down, doing all the maintenance, doing all that. I did that for a long while. Then I found out that I could rent, 3 years ago, rent a vehicle to do my Ubering in. I have been doing that consistently. I have not been out of a rental vehicle in over 3 years now. All right, just went over. To do my Ubering in. Along the way of doing that, I have found a little system that I kind of work. My strategy, let's call it. Where I do certain things that I have found. Now, understand this also. I have a long transportation history. I have done high-end limousine rides. I have drove celebrities. I have done those kind of gigs. Okay. Along doing that, I found that if I do certain things with certain people, certain clientele, that I get extra money. All right. So that's the other little thing we're going to get into, number 4 or 3 or 4 on my list here. We're going to go over on how to make everything work for you. And I've learned, but once I jumped into a rental car, I could carry over what I had learned doing high-end stuff. I have drove limos, like I said. I've done the party buses. I've done the black sedan rides, special clientele. I've done all that kind of stuff before. I carried that into my rental. And you can do this in your personal. You don't have to rent a car to do what I'm going to get into, okay? You can do it in your personal car. I've carried that over into my rental strategy, and I've seen it work. And I've tried to explain that, and I'm being very careful talking about this today because I want people to understand that. So that's why I'm asking you to stay with me. By carrying over what I learned doing the high-end stuff into a rental vehicle that's always provided for me, it's always clean because I keep it that way, but it's provided to me a brand new vehicle. I'm renting through Avis. I rent a vehicle that I use, and I just use it as, or prepare it to be used as a high-end vehicle, kind of. I do certain things along the way. Now, another thing that let's get into this. With that vehicle and knowing what I know about my area, I focus on that area. Okay, you can go out. There are drivers, and I've talked about this in videos before. There are drivers that pack a bag, and I'll be back in a couple days. They hit the road. Wherever Uber wants to send them on their journey, they go away. I hear about them all the time from other people that I pick up, about the driver that picked them up that started 600 miles away that morning from somewhere else. They're working, that's their system, that's their strategy. There are people out here that work only a couple days a week. When you get off of work, you go out and work a few hours in the evening or something, go out and do some Ubering. There are people that go out in the morning before they go to work in the afternoon and do some Ubering. There are people out here like me that work it full time. And if you want to work it full time, just play the game right, and you'll make money. You'll succeed at being a full-time driver if you do what I've learned along the way. So I focus on my area. I've mentioned before my area that I focus on, and I've requested, I've done a video on it. I would love to be able to designate my area, my zone, and say, I don't want to accept, I will not take a run out of my area. I wish they'd allow us to do that. Uber, if you're listening to this video, please allow us to do that. So I focus on an area that I know really well. I know there are high-end hotels here. I know there are very high-end restaurants here, and I know that people travel in between them. So I work that as my strategy, my area, my focus. All right. Then I take it into the next level, and this is what I learned doing high-end stuff, and this is what I've learned picking Uber people up. There are certain things, if you want to make the tips, and that's what I've explained that. I've done videos on my tip strategy. There are certain things that you can do with a rental vehicle or your personal vehicle. Here it is. Take care of the smell of your vehicle. I've explained this before. I carry 2 of these. Oh God, it smells good just waving it around. I carry 2 of those in the vehicle, and before I pick somebody up, I'll take it. I have 2 of them in here, one stationary in my floor vent. The other one I'll pick up and I'll hold it up here in front of the air conditioner vent, kick it on high as I'm coming up the road or as I'm fixing to get there, and just let that I picked up a young lady yesterday that I have given so many rides to, and she's here on temporary status working at one of the high-end hotels, and I've picked her up quite a few times, and she'll talk. She hops in yesterday and she goes, I'm going to miss you. And I go, you're going to miss me? She goes, yeah, we have to go back home in January. I go, oh, poor thing. She goes, one thing I got to say is I'll always remember the smell of your car. I said, oh, I mean, it always made me, because I talk about that so much, to have someone that gets in and says, I'm going to remember the smell of your car. You know, that just shows me that people recognize this stuff. I get so many people that'll hop in and talk about that, and then they'll start talking about the last Uber ride they had. And I've talked about this before in videos. They'll tell me about the vehicle that they've rode in before. And she went into the story and going about, and you always playing jazz music. I love that. Oh, I mean, she was hitting my key points that I talk about. And I'm sitting there going, God, should I turn my camera around? Should I turn my phone around and start videotaping this? Because she's saying exactly what I've been trying to explain. Then she went into another level that really flipped me out. She goes, yeah, the guy that's been picking me up, sometimes, she says, he don't have a back seat in his car. And I go, what? She goes, he don't have a back seat in his car. She says he's got a piece of carpet folded up back there that you sit on in the back seat. Beater car. You see what I mean? Beater car. That's exactly what we're trying to get around. I try, in my strategy, to paint a different picture. When someone gets in my vehicle, the first thing that's going to hit them is the smell of your vehicle. The second thing that's going to hit them is how clean is your car. The next thing is if you've got good music playing, they're going to know it, they're going to remember it. I get so many comments. I've talked about this before. I play a neutral music. You can go watch some of my stuff. Well, go watch my tip video. This is kind of what this is turning into. But I play a neutral music. I play a jazz music. I did a sample the other day. I played it on the video, one of my videos. I play a music that's kind of neutral. That I don't play jazz. I mean, I don't play rap. I don't play rock, which I was raised on. When I'm by myself, sometimes I'll click on some other stuff. But when I got people in the car, I want to set the environment. Like I've learned doing high-end stuff, you do the same thing. I want to set the environment in my storefront. I've explained that before. This is my storefront. This is how I make my living. I want people to be comfortable. See what I mean? There's a strategy, and this is my strategy. So you can be one of those guys that just goes out and drives from point A to point B, drops them off and says, how do you do? Don't say much to them and let them go. That's some people's strategy. You just don't have the gift of my next thing after music, and that's talk to them. If you can get, and when people get in my vehicle, first thing that happens, I'm going, hey guys, how you guys doing today? And they'll go, hey, not bad, how are you doing? I say, well, it's another day in paradise. I say that almost every time. I know what to say to get them to ask me that. And once I say that, I can ask them, where are you guys from? They'll let me know. I'm creating a conversation. And if you can create the smell, the clean, the music, and talk to them, you're going to make tips and you're going to get your 5-star. I am a 5-star. I've only ever been a 4.9, and that's because I kicked a guy out of my vehicle one time and he got ticked off about it. Give me a 1 or nothing or whatever, made a complaint. But anyway, I've always been a 5-star. I know the transportation business. I know from working high-end people how people want to be treated. I'm doing Uber. Someone I pull up to pick up someone with their groceries. I'm popping my back. I'm going back there and helping them. I'm smiling. I'm talking to them from the get-go before they ever get in my vehicle. All right? There are strategies on how to not just pull up and they get in the vehicle and you just, all right, you pull away with them, you drop them off the house and not say another word to them. You're going to have a hard time with Uber and getting a 5-star. And you're going to definitely have a hard time getting tips. You've got to try to communicate with your people. So the last one there was talk. So smell, clean, music, and talk. I also come up with a little saying for that, and that's start collecting more tips. SCMT. Clean, smell, clean, music, talk. Anyway, and that's the way you work this system. You can work it, and those are the only things you have to focus on. If you, the way I do it, it's not going to work for everyone. Let me get that out of the way again. This does not work for everyone. And if you try this, don't just go get the rental vehicle and get your smelly stuff and learn what music you need to be. Don't get all that up and just park the vehicle in your yard. Get your butt out there and start making some money, because it's out there. People are using Uber more than ever, even though it sucks. We all have a problem with Uber in one way or the other. It's what I got, though. It's what I'm going to do. It's what I'm going to continue to do. So that's my strategy. And like I say, my strategy ain't going to work for everyone, but you can try it. So if you play this video a couple times, write some of that stuff down, what I talked about, try it. Even if you don't have a rental car, try this in your own personal car. Focus on your area. Keep your car clean, smelling good. Play some neutral music. Don't just play the music you like, because everyone ain't going to like the music you like. So you want to create an environment if you can. And that's why I always have gone to just music, no singing, just some neutral kind of jazz music. Keep it down low so you can carry on the conversation. Play the game. This is a game just like anything else. It's a hustle. This is a hustle. Get out and hustle. Play the game. Build you a strategy. Learn if you're going to be that guy that's going to pack the bag and jump in your vehicle and haul butt for a couple of days or see where you end up. If you're going to play that strategy, still play the game. On that ride, that 100-mile ride, that 150, 200-mile ride, try to communicate with the people. Try to build up that rapport. You'll be surprised when people get out, if you've done that. They're almost like a friend. They want your Facebook address. They want to be able to contact you. Hey, can I use you again? I get that all the time. I tell people I don't have a I do, but I tell people I don't have a Facebook because I don't want all of that. I don't do all of that. You know, my Facebook is mostly family stuff. But anyway, this is my strategy. Figure out what strategy you want to do. If you want to get out and make some money, get out and make some money, because there's money out here to be made. I don't do the beater car, so I prefer to do it my strategy. So anyway, Daddy-O out for the day. You guys have a good afternoon, good evening, and I'll come up with something probably tomorrow with your comments. I'll probably come up with something tomorrow to talk about. So anyway, leave me your comments, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that kind of stuff. Buy Daddy-O a cup of coffee down in the bottom. All right? You guys have a good afternoon, good evening. Bye.